Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. Here, a little bit of sad news to report on the passing of legendary actor Sidney Poitier today at the age, I believe, is 93. Sidney Poitier is like the best of the best when it comes to actors, specifically African American actors. He first emerged on the scene at a time when Hollywood was heavily segregated. Hollywood was very racist, very segregated, and he broke through the mold with all of his characters. Specifically, um, in movies like 1967's Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and 1955's Blackboard Jungle, which is what I included in the title. Lulu's Lulu's song "To Serve with Love," in which Sidney Poitier plays a teacher in a high school of these unruly type kids, and um, they become his children through mentoring them as a teacher. He becomes their teacher. It's sort of like the template of movies like Dangerous Minds, movies like Lean on Me, movies like Stand and Deliver. Blackboard Jungle was the first movie like this kind. I believe on the soundtrack as well. Bill Haley and the Comets' "Rock Around the Clock" was featured too. So it was one of the first movies to ever feature um, rock and roll. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Now, that movie in 1967 was groundbreaking because it was one of the first movies starring alongside Katharine Hepburn that ever featured an interracial couple. Obviously, the girl is introducing um, her man to the family, and they don't have any idea that the man is African American. So they did a remake of it some years back with um, Ashton Kutcher and Bernie Mac, but it wasn't as good as the original. Also, Sidney Poitier um, was heavily involved, like Harry Belafonte, in real life in the civil rights movement, in garnering rights for African Americans. He himself was of Bohemian descent. Um, he came to this country, A Raisin in the Sun, Lisa August Wilson's adaptation. I forgot about that one. He came to this country at age 15 from the Bahamas. It is believed, according to his grandfather, that on one of the sides of his family he is of Haitian descent, and he is a descendant of Haitian Maroons, people people who rebelled against slavery in Haiti. So he had that kind of noble lineage. And that Haitian family member then immigrated to the Bahamas, and he then immigrated from there to the United States. Raisin in the Sun, of course, a classic movie that Tupac played in as a child. Many of people have seen August Wilson's depiction about the life of this African American family living in a segregated neighborhood during desegregation. Um, let's see some of the other ones that he has played in. Goodbye, My Lady, The Defiant Ones, All the Young Men. Basically, anybody who was anybody knew who Sidney Poitier was. He, along with Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby, three luminaries, and Harry Belafonte, three luminaries in the Hollywood world at a time when there were no black actors. They wouldn't want to hire black actors, and those people struggled as well for the civil rights of African Americans that were not actors. And think of it this way, guys. A lot of times we don't we don't realize that back then, when it was only white faces on TV. Just seeing, just seeing that representation of that man, Sidney Poitier, on TV, playing these strong actors, like teachers, for example, doctors, for example, politicians that were important. You didn't. It gave kids a sense of hope because they didn't really see that anywhere else. It broke barriers and it revolutionized and changed society. And art imitated life. Just as we talk about in this channel, how art imitates life in a negative way, art can imitate life in a positive way as well. And Sidney Poitier, to me, was a shining beacon of respectability in Hollywood and a legend who power and influence can never be understated. Um, Lisa, anything else you would like to add in terms of the life of Sidney Poitier? He was knighted in 1995 by Queen Elizabeth II. He was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor in 2016, and he was awarded the Medal of Arts in 2009. Hey, big dog, what's up, man? Welcome back to the channel. First black man to win an Oscar. No, I didn't mention that. Yeah, R.I.P. Sidney, man. Lisa, thank you for that one. First black man to win an Oscar. Incredible feat at that time. Uh, yeah, man. To me, like I said, Blackboard Jungle sticks out. Oh, from 1997 to 2007, Sidney Poitier served as of the Bahamian ambassador on the behalf of the Bahamas to the country of Japan. Wow, that's incredible. So he was on the political end as well as the artistic end. Look at that. On behalf of his country, yeah, yeah. Big Dog says he was sad about Betty White and now he's sad about Sidney Poitier. Yeah, we're losing all the great ones, Big Dog. You know, but they left behind their art, they left behind their movies, and they left behind their legacy. What they had achieved in terms of opening doors, Betty White for women and Sidney Poitier for African Americans and people of color, cannot be undone, man. We're living in a different world, a different time because of them, because of what they achieved, man. And we're gonna continue to carry on their legacy and continue to push the medium forward. Lisa saying in 2021, the Academy dedicated the lobby of the new Academy of Motion Pictures in Los Angeles as the Sidney Poitier Grand Lobby in his honor. So there you go. He got a whole lobby in his honor. Just for what he had achieved. He was always one of those names. I always thought he was French. Like French descent, French Caribbean descent because of the name. I never really knew what kind of ethnicity he was, but he, along with Harry Belafonte, was one of those names that stuck out. Like, oh, yo, those are the two guys who, at a time when you didn't really see black actors, those two guys stuck out. You know what I mean? I wasn't really sure of their origins because of their last names, but uh, it was cool to learn that he had an ancestor that was Haitian descent, and he himself was Bohemian. We do it. No, Lisa, he is not from the same place that Rihanna is from. He is from the place that is close. It is actually closer to Florida than uh, even Cuba. He is from the Bahamas. He is from the place that I will be heading to later on this year. Um, so yeah, it was a British colony, so that's why he was awarded knighthood by uh, Queen Elizabeth II. Um, I'm looking to see if he was ever in any animated movies. Was he ever in any animated movies? Um, no, it doesn't seem like he was. Okay, he was 94. And, yeah, you're absolutely right, Big Dog. We must honor life every day because we never know when God is going to call us home to be with Him. I don't see any animated movies from him. And yes, I was correct. Blackboard Jungle did feature the song Bill Haley in the comments, Rock Around the Clock Tonight. Yeah, no animated movies, and I'm surprised because Big Dog and Lisa, because uh he had a West Indian accent. He was from the Bahamas. You know what I mean? He would have been good as like Sebastian the Crab, right? In freaking Little Mermaid, right? So he would, or if they would have did some kind of West Indian type, Caribbean type movie like they did Moana, he would have been good for the hey man. You know what I mean? You know, right? Yeah, like nah. Unfortunately, no, he didn't do that. Most of his stuff, he was in Heat of the Night, starring the late Carol O'Connor, who we know more famously as Archie Bunker. So he was in that. He was in a lot of stuff, a lot of '70s movies with Bill Cosby. It was like him and Bill Cosby and Harry Belafonte and Richard Pryor. It was like they were they were like the four black guys on speed dial in the '70s, in the '50s, '60s, and '70s. But yes, Black Boy. Right, we did, Lisa. Lisa and I just discussed that he is one of the few veterans left in the Hollywood world. But I always liked him because it always seemed like he was like the ambassador to Hollywood, the black ambassador to Hollywood. Him and Harry Belafonte. Again, I can't mention him enough without mentioning Harry Belafonte. It seemed like Harry Belafonte and him were like twins, man. Like West Indian twins. Harry Belafonte from Jamaica, Sidney Poitier from the Bahamas. But yeah, he had a tremendous legacy in the African American community and the West Indian community in terms of Hollywood. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Raisin in the Sun, and Blackboard Jungle. And if you don't know that song by Lulu, To Sir with Love, that song to me, that song to me as a teacher, as a person that works with the young people, that song would make me tear up. Not only as an educator, but as somebody that values educators, because that template that you often saw in movies, in later movies, like again, Dangerous Minds and Stand and Deliver and Lean on Me, that template of a teacher being able to change the lives of students, even Glee, even freaking Welcome Back Carter, even all those type of shows, Saved by the Bell, that template, Boy Meets World, of teachers being able to influence the lives of students that are going the wrong way, or going off course, if you will, off kilter, or going into a bad way and being influenced by negative things, how the teacher impacts them and impacts their lives. And that was the first movie of its kind to do that, to really deal with teenage culture, is Blackboard Jungle, 1955. The Principal from 1987, John Belushi. I don't think I've seen that one, Jason, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm Big Dog, so um, I'm pretty sure that was a good one. Of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, if you want a boring teacher like Ben Stein. But I'm talking about a teacher movie that say the kids are, even Mighty Ducks is along this lines. Yeah, Gordon Gordon Bombay wasn't a teacher, right? But he was somebody that influenced the kids, influenced them. They were doing not so good. They were on a bad course in life, and he coached them, and he, through the power of hockey, he changed their lives. So through the power of education and through the power of mentorship, Lean on Me. Yeah, Lisa, we talked about that one. That's definitely one of them. Jaime Escalante's story, which is a real life story. Um, Stand and Deliver. But Blackboard Jungle was the first, and Rock Around the Clock then becomes the song that epitomizes the 1950s. And when they go back in the 70s and they start to become nostalgic about the 50s, and they make the TV show Happy Days, that's the song they use. So Blackboard Jungle is a very important movie in terms of bringing the rock and roll culture, bringing the greaser culture that would epitomize the late 1950s to the forefront. And Sidney Poitier is a part of that. And again, in the racial turn, in the racial aspect, breaking that racial taboo, being the first African American and white couple on TV, in the movies in 1967 with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. The new Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Ashton Kutcher, and I think it was Zoe Saldana and Bernie Mac, wasn't as good. The first one was a shock because it was like the 1960s. Come on, man. Look, you never saw no shit like that. Anyway, but and what Sidney Poitier did in the political realm, even more important than what he did in the cultural and film realm. But anyway, Big Dog, Happy New Year. Lisa, thank you for joining, and rest in peace to the man Sidney Poitier. We learned a lot right here on this channel. Oh yes, oh man, Lisa, thank you so much. Porgy and Bess. How can we go away without mentioning the classic Porgy and Bess, a film that brought to the forefront jazz music at a time and play that brought to the forefront jazz music written by George Gershwin. George Gershwin, perhaps the greatest American composer ever in of that time. Yes, you have John Philip Sousa, but you also but the difference between George Gershwin and John Philip Sousa is that George Gershwin infused jazz. George Gershwin brought jazz and ragtime to the American mainstream in the movie Porgy and Bess, and it was Sidney Poitier who made the place Porgy and Bess, and it was Sidney Poitier who made the movie version. Summertime and the living's easy. I'm not gonna sing, but anyway, guys, thank you for that. Lisa, thank you for that tidbit. Thank you for that tidbit of info. Rest in peace to Sidney Poitier. Love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.